Hey everyone, whoever is out there, if we ever share this, I don't know. This is our Cosmic Dialogue number 41, and we have Rita, Scott, and Vivienne. So we're at cosmicfixer.com. You can find us there or other places that we deem possible later on. All right. Rita, would you like to go?
No, Vivien's gonna get
Oh,
going.
Vivienne's going to go. Good.
Yes.
Good.
Alrighty. So it's been 3 years, and are we doing? We're not doing. I have no place to go in 3 years. Oh my gosh, I'm so different. I don't know myself anymore. I think I'm just going to share more about my that I've gone far away from needing to be validated, and I don't need to share my stories anymore because it just felt like just pointless, really.
And why? What felt pointless about it?
Because it didn't make the work happen any better, really, because the work was the work. It didn't need anything from the outside to make it better. I didn't need more people to make this person feel better. I didn't need anybody else's stories to make this one story feel any realer. And I've had myself. I mean, I've had experiences of trying to even have conversations with people who'd asked about it when they'd say, "Have you had any success with ulcerative colitis?" And I would say that is, I might and I might not, but that's not going to help you because your body is going to respond or not, and nobody else's story is going to help you. So I've been firmer than I was in the past with just laying down my truth and sticking to that and saying, I don't know. The only way for you to find out is to try it. And to then have people either bold enough or brave enough to say, I'm going to try it. And then to watch the transformation over 4 days, to see the first day, I think it was the first day when that lady said, oh my God, she cheered up and she was like, this shouldn't make any sense, but it's making so much sense. And I shouldn't be feeling like this, but I am. And on the third day, for her to go back to her old ways and be like, I'm not so sure anymore, and how I had to stay really firm in my conviction and be like, I can't help you there. You're going to have make choice now. Do you want to feel like you felt on day 1? Or do you want to stay where you are on day 3 and go back to, because the space where I work from my home. And so I know when people leave, they're back in the big bad world where nothing that made sense in my place now makes sense because it's like reality. And she's back with the doctors, and she's back with the drugs, and she's back with the all the other stuff. And so I was quite firm because I can't make that decision for you, and I cannot make that choice for you. That has to be your choice. And then a week later she called and she said, I'm fine. Had this for like 40 plus years and I'm fine. And so then I questioned what would happen if I had sat in her boat, in her leaky boat, and help her try to bail water,
That's perfect.
Yep.
All right.
You stay in your leaky boat. I can wave you over, but I'm not getting in there.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure whether these sharing the stories, and I'm still like, I still haven't come to a clear understanding of how I feel about that, because there's a part of me that says, how are people going to know if I just keep this hidden?
Well, looking back 3 years, have you found that there's another hand, like a cosmic marketing person, cosmic advertiser, that is just sort of directing people to you, even though now you're not sharing the stories the way you felt like you needed to before?
Yes, for sure. But then my journey has had to been to trust and to
Right.
let go again of control. Not easy for me.
Right.
And not to be managing the scene. Easy.
What do you feel like was the switch that flipped where you now are just totally trusting? Here it is 3 years in the future from when we had a conversation about sharing stories or not. What made it real for you to trust that third hand guiding people to you who were open to it and ready to accept what you had to offer?
I'm not sure. I think it was a gradual understanding of kind of being okay no matter what. And again, being more focused on my own life and my own, and not so much about fixing everybody else. So the more I turn back home, and when I'm home, I mean myself and my own little planet here. And I think being okay with, like I said, mentioned in one of the other videos, where being okay with my own pain and being okay with my own, that was key. Was really key, because so now I can stand and watch somebody else be in pain and be fine, because you're okay. That had its purpose and that has its place, and you're exactly where you need to be. I don't need to move you out.
Right. So are you speaking of someone who is in pain, but they're still not open to healing, the possibilities of healing that exists inside of each of us?
Yes, because I cannot make that call for them.
Yeah.
And the same, it goes back to the same. It's like this: if you have 3 people with ulcerative colitis, all 3 people are going to be, they're all going to have 3 completely different experiences. So this is not a one size heals all type of modality, because they are doing the work.
And there are three different experiences and habitual behaviors that got them to their illness.
True. But then people can switch. Like, you can switch overnight. It doesn't have to be, it can be right now. It doesn't have to take overnight. You can make the choice right now that I'm going to start trusting how I feel when I've got my hands on the person. So trust how I feel now. And it was so different 3 minutes ago when I entered your door. Do I trust this now? And it's fascinating to me to see how there's some people who can feel it instantly, and there's some people who just don't feel anything.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel this? Nope. Like, what am I supposed to feel? I don't know. Do you feel anything? And there's some people who I work on them with. There's a part of it where I work on people's feet, and it's just in the air. It's not even touching them. And there's some people who can feel it. Like, there's a guy who said it feels like you're poking holes in sand, you know, when you poke holes in sand and you have those depressions, that's what it feels like you're doing to my feet. And there's some people who don't feel anything. And there's some people who say, oh yeah, I feel tingling and I feel heat, or I feel cool, or I feel, so sensations. But and the other interesting thing is, with this kind of a modality, you do not have to feel to heal. So even the people who don't feel anything, whatever they come for eventually just goes. But so it's not like, it doesn't have a direct correlation to, oh, if you feel something, you're going to heal quicker. Nope, got nothing to do with anything, which is also interesting.
I feel ready to supercharge you right now. So here it is, 3 years from a conversation we had at a cosmic dialogue, and I've watched you really step into this knowing about what your work is really doing. And you're getting more and more information coming through you, because as you become aware of each person's armor, or how thick their filter system is, or if it filters at all, if it's permeable at all. And you've started addressing that as you come across somebody who is in pain or in a long illness. You started asking them, what's the last time you felt something? And that was just that question. How they responded was big information for you. And as you started being aware of how many layers there can be to a person's armor from feeling, how much they've built up to protect themselves from feeling, you have become more sensitive yourself to everything that is out there that we can each feel, and you know now that feeling is a source of information. It doesn't have to come from a book. It doesn't have to be understood in the head. When you really feel it is when you really understand it. And so you're bypassing all the mental stuff and just absorbing truth and information and scientific information. You're feeling it. And you may not always be able to speak words to explain it, but sometimes you can, because it's coming through in such a way that we're just figuring out the language to help others understand it, just as you are. And the more you become sensitive to other people's ability to feel or inability to feel, you become far more able to feel everything that is out there that we are not taught is how the world works. You're feeling the greater reality, and that's bringing so much information to you that people are being guided to you without you having to market anything, without no, you just be, and you're just getting more and more well within yourself, and the people around you in your life are becoming more and more well and grounded and happy and sure, and they are absorbing your wellness and your knowledge, and you have such an abundance of it that it's free to share. And that is affecting everything, not only your work, but your entire life and family and friends. Yeah.
And I think I want to supercharge this too, because of things that are just coming up with me, is that since this conversation we had 3 years ago, you have really come to know that the only real healing that anyone can ever experience is that remembering that they are a being of divinity, that is the remembering that they need to have. It wasn't necessarily something that you instilled in them. It was a deep memory that they needed to reawaken to, that kind of like this, behold the energy of God, behold the energy of the universe. It is here with you. I don't have to push it. I don't have to force it. I don't have to market it. Just this remembering, this is the true healing, and that trust of true knowledge and truth from experience of just behold this. Behold this all-powerful being, this ongoing interdimensional divinity, divine human spirit that has all these capabilities that we know, but we just have forgotten. And so that is like the truth of all the healing that happens in the universe, is that we remember. We just simply remember that. And and you explain it now, of like whether we put our hands over an energy area or on a person, or someone comes to us, this is the energy of this remembering that we are the beings that have the capability to heal ourselves, to be responsible for that healing for ourselves, to be the ones to, through our own healing, we heal the world. Through our own healing of our own spirits, because we're interconnected with everything. There is this separation is something that we have created as humans. There is no separation, and we remember that. And as we heal ourselves, we heal a portion of the whole. And so we don't have to discuss that. We don't have to like market that. We don't have to tell someone or coerce someone to do that. We just simply, through our being and healing ourselves and looking back at us, we heal the part of ourselves that heals the whole. And it spreads. And that's the marketing. The spreading of the healing of our own self and our remembering as part of the collective consciousness, of the consciousness of light itself. And so the truths come for you when you actually have people experience those things, rather than any sort of philosophy or any kind of, sharing of story. Because the most important story is the sovereign story, the story of one's own spirit, the story of your own journey. And that is where your truth lies. It's not about someone else's truth. It's not about someone else's journey, because the direct experience is where everyone's truth is. Because we are eyes of consciousness, and we are here to experience consciousness from billions and billions of points. And from our 1 billionth, trillionth point, truth comes from our experience of consciousness, and our responsibility to that truth of ourselves to heal the whole. And so when you look back at that time, where this 3-year period of, we don't help people, we help them remember, we assist in the remembering, and then they help themselves, because they know that they are beings of light already, and they always were.
Yep. That's true. I think yesterday I was talking to my husband about something similar, and I said, I think Michelangelo said something about when he sculpted David, David was in the marble. and he just I have to find out where he said it, but he just sculpted away from. So it's not like he sculpted David, but David was in the marble, and I'm saying this so badly, but
He sculpted what was not David.
correct.
He removed what was not David.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I find like from my journey now is more that I'm sculpting away things that are not me to get to this place where it's pure perfection. There's nothing more to be added or fixed or and even for healing people, it's the same thing. You're just getting rid of all the baggage just by tuning into this frequency of health, which is just it's already there. I don't have to bring it. I don't have to shift it. I don't have to move it. They don't have to do a damn thing except just sit there. They don't have to believe in it. They don't have to have faith. It's just because they are faith. I mean, they're made in this image of perfection. That's how they were created. So it's nothing. You don't have to, you know.
I like it.
Yeah.
And I like your silence.
I seem to have more of these, just being okay with silence, like.
Right. And how are people responding to that?
I think it makes them uncomfortable. And I'm okay with that because not my problem anymore.
Right.
You figure that shit out.
Right. Isn't that nice?
I'm going to stop our recording now. So
Good.